Whether you're a die-hard gearhead that bleeds motor oil or the kind of person that occasionally thumbs through the magazine while waiting in the dentist office, the odds are good that you've probably heard of Barrette Jackson collector car auctions. For over 40 years, the Barrette Jackson auction block has seen the hammer fall on some of the world's most desirable examples of automotive history, performance, and rolling beauty. Through the years, the Barrette Jackson auctions have evolved into much more than just a meeting of sellers and buyers. Sure, the main attraction is still the auction and sale, but outside, it feels more like a cross between a giant car show and a county fair, attracting thousands who come to get a close-up look at this automotive extravaganza. A couple of hours spent wandering the grounds is like a stroll through an automotive time machine, and you'll get to meet some pretty interesting people as well.
It's a 1962 Ford Thunderbird Sport Roadster. Only 1,427 were built. As we know, there are 150 approximately left. We belong to the Roadster Society. This car is fully documented. I believe we're the third owners. We saw the car and couldn't help ourselves. The reason the Roadster was made was because from 1955 to 1957, Ford made a two-seater Thunderbird. Well, Lee Iacocca walked into the office one day and said, you know, these people that have the four-seaters are not happy. We need to make something that looks like a two-seater and can be a four-seater for the family. So that's what they did, is the engineers came up with the tonneau cover. They cost as much as a Cadillac did in 1962. It has a vinyl top, goes up, the back end lifts down, there's a bunch of hydraulics in there. Then when you put the top down, you don't have a trunk. But it's a special car because it was built for the people that wanted something sporty. We take it to shows. We've won a couple first of shows or best of shows. We take it down to the beach and cruise. I drive it sometimes, but most of the time he does because I'm scared I'm going to mess it up.
I bought it up in Weaverville, California. I found it on the side of the road at a little auto shop. About 4 cars for sale. So the owner was a 96-year-old guy who finally stopped driving because his wife wanted him to stop. She thought it was a little unsafe for him to keep driving. I bought it because I've always wanted to find a Scout, and that's what I used to go to swimming lessons in when I was a little kid. But trying to find one that was in good condition or one that I could restore was really hard. When I finally saw that on the side of the road, I just grabbed it. Well, I found a place called the Scout Connection. I found it on the internet, and all they do is international harvester, and their specialty is Scouts. And so I gave them a call and found that it was a good place to take it to. So I had it shipped back, and they did a whole frame-off restoration. It was completely disassembled. Every screw, every bolt was completely taken off, and every piece was cleaned, dipped, repainted. It's all original engine, original transmission. Everything's been rebuilt on it. It has 66,000 original miles on it. To restore a car like this, of this quality, around $65,000 is what I paid to have it done. Cars are just a blast to restore, and I think that rather than let something like this rot away in a junkyard somewhere, preserving a piece of American automotive history, there's not too many things like that around anymore. It was just fun choosing everything and getting it all done just the way I wanted it, and then to see it all done in the end is pretty rewarding.
Don't go away. We'll be right back with more cars from Barrette Jackson, Orange County, right after this. You never know what you're going to find at the Barrette Jackson collector car auction. From fire trucks to flaming cars, there's always another surprise waiting just around the corner.
I bought this car in 1990 in Dallas, Texas. I bought it for my sons to go to high school. One son liked to drive to high school, one son didn't like to drive to high school because they went to 2 different high schools, and the one school didn't drive cars like this. And then they gave it back to me, so I had it restored in Orange, California, and I had a new engine put in it. I spent $5,300 on the engine, a total of $23,000 on the car, besides the cost of the car itself. This is a Porsche Speed Yellow paint job. It cost $5,000. The car was completely taken apart. The inside is painted as the same finish as the outside. I'm selling it because my wife hates yellow. Well, I hope to get $40,000, and I pray a lot, so I probably might get that.
The story behind this car was I have a friend, a walking buddy, that had a boss, and he was restoring 4 Woodies, and I was always curious about Woodies, living by the beach all my life. And so I asked to see his collection. Well, when I went over to see his cars, he had this Mercury, and it was just sitting in pieces. I was just looking at it, kind of going through the boxes, and it was just parts all over the place. And so he goes, we were leaving his shop, and he goes, "What do you think?" I go, "Yeah, I'd like to buy it." So he goes, "No," he goes, "You're a good guy, I'm going to give you the car." But of course, not knowing how much I was going to spend on the car, restoring it, and then I physically picked all the colors. There's about 80% of the wood is original. And then we went ahead and put ZZ4 Corvette motor in it, so we had to go through the firewall to get some more room. And restoration at this point's $185,000. It was about 18 months. I had the money and I just kept writing checks. I'm just thrilled with the car. I live in Corona Del Mar, and we have Pacific Coast Highway. We drive up and down. We go to lunches and dinners and take other couples out in it. It will seat 6 people.